KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. All new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Ahead on Primetime, GovGuam's largest agency in a financial crunch. Carmen Talahi has more on Guam DOE's list of cutbacks. Plus, a South Korean soccer player accused of rape appears in court answering to the charges against him. And playing it safe, the latest after a group of children have a rather traumatic experience at a playground in Tumon.
Hafide and good evening.
The cut is deep for the Guam Department of Education, the largest government agency. This all a result of the Federal Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017.
DOE leaders say they will lose $19.6 million in their budget for this fiscal year. Superintendent John Fernandez even sent a memo to his staff about what he's calling only round one of their budget cuts. Carmen Terlahi has the story.
After a $20 million cut in their budget, the administration at DOE hopes round one of their own cuts will be enough to stop the wound from bleeding. According to DOE, that includes immediately cutting what they call low-hanging fruit that should have the least impact on the operations at local schools. First, the superintendent says they'll cut 10% of utility consumption, conserving lighting, air conditioning, water use, shutting down computers, and limiting photocopying. The second, a delay in new spending, like pre-K expansion.
We've been pushing for expansion to additional schools. Right now we have 4 schools serving 72 students. We had the authority and had identified funding to further expand to 5 schools, and those are D.L. Perez, Maria Ujoa, Agana Heights, P.C. Lujan, and then Inaran Elementary School. So the work was going to start this year on the construction, the renovation, and then we were going to open up the next school year. That, until we find the resources to support that, that initiative is going to have to be delayed.
Delaying pre-K expansion is $1 million in savings, but it's not close to enough. Other ideas include prolonging the hiring freeze for their central office and assistant principals, utilizing the Tizen headquarters to lease to other government agencies, and leasing the PD property for commercial use, while DOE also looks at how they can sweep up available funding from other sources, like the $1.5 million Governor Eddie Calvo appropriated for school repairs, unused textbook funds, and a portion of the real property tax reserved to rebuild Simon Sanchez.
In the letter, there is a reference to the Simon Sanchez funds for renovation. Those are not funds related to, those are funds that were related to the lease back. However, because the process has stalled and the funds are not being utilized for the lease because no project has been completed, and we're at least 2 years away, we're asking the government, the agencies and the legislature to determine what the amount is in that reserved account, and to be able to utilize that to offset some of the cuts.
In his memo, he says the funds for Sanchez add up to $8.5 million reserved annually for GDOE, but the ultimate goal is quality education.
We're not going to be able to address all these issues without touching on the classrooms, but as we go through these discussions, we want to make sure our kids are safe, that the kids have a teacher in their classroom, and that they have an opportunity to learn.
But round two of cuts, he admits, won't be as forgiving. Reporting for Guam News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
Other options that remain on the table, cutting school hours and closing schools like J.P. Torres Success Academy. You can read his memo on our website and view today's press conference on KUAM's Facebook page.
Well, there's just no fat to cut. Bureau of Budget Management Acting Director Lester Carlson says his office is reviewing the proposed budget cuts submitted by other GovGuam agencies. Among them are the Guam Fire, Guam Police, and the Department of Corrections, who are already short on manpower. While BBMR is trying to quantify what each agency can do with a bare-bones budget, Carlson admits it probably won't be enough. He adds the judiciary, the legislature, and the Office of Public Accountability have yet to submit their proposed cuts.
The executive director of the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority is expected to change his plea next week. Michael Duenas is one of a handful of public officials charged with violating the open government law. Dueñas' proposed deferred plea is for the charge of conspiracy as a misdemeanor. As reported, David Sablan, Cecile Suda, John Elau, Rosie Bloss, Roland Selvage, Deanne Torrey, and Dueñas are accused of holding secret board meetings and predetermining how they would vote in those public meetings. His change of plea is set for Monday before Judge Anita Sokola.
A South Korean soccer player accused of rape has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him today. Byung-oh Kim is indicted on multiple charges of criminal sexual conduct. Last month, the victim alleged she had been raped by Kim at Leo Palace Resort. She eventually got away running to a security guard who then helped her call police. Kim is an attacker for the Sangju Sangmu team. He is set to return to court on February 13th.
A brief scare at a local middle school forces the campus to go on lockdown for nearly 3 hours. DOE officials say a student was found with a bullet in his possession around 10 this morning. That's when they called Guam police to search the campus. However, no further threat was found. The all-clear was given just before 1 in the afternoon. DOE is investigating.
We first brought you the story on Monday. A young mother turned to Facebook to warn others about the potential dangers at a popular playground in Tumon. The incident left her children in tears.
It also put a timeout on playtime. Here's more. What should have been fun at the park turned into a scare.
My daughter, Rose, she started to say her eyes were burning, and immediately after, so did the other two that were playing on that side.
It was on Saturday morning. Alexandria Letty took her children to the playground located at the Governor Joseph Flores Memorial Park in Tumon. On the way home,
we had to pull over. We had 3 of them screaming in pain, saying it felt like there was fire in their eyes, and they were all crying, and it was a really scary experience because I felt like something had happened at the playground, but we didn't know what to do.
She considered going to the hospital, but after about 10 minutes, her children reported feeling better. By then, they had flushed their eyes and washed their hands. Though safe from harm, this mother wasn't going to let it go. She reported the incident to the Guam Police Department.
What they had said was more than likely because the homeless tend to congregate there in the evenings. There's a lot of incidents of drunkenness where the police need to come down to deal with it, and there may have been an altercation resulting in pepper spray being used and possibly getting onto the playground bars.
She also shared her experience on her Facebook page. The response, overwhelming. Other parents came forward reporting the playground equipment was unsafe for play.
At least there was some light brought to, or attention brought to the dangers of the facility.
The site has since been blocked off with caution tape. For now, though they haven't been able to confirm if the area was affected by pepper spray, Department of Parks and Recreation's Deputy Director John Titano assured Letty they were going to play it safe.
He said that they went down and soaped the bars down, washed it to try to get as much of the residue off as they could, and they were making the efforts to either take down or replace the parts that were broken on the playground.
Tamuning Mayor Louise Rivera hopes it doesn't happen again.
I've also got a hold of the Guam Police Department so that in the event there's any type of situation that goes on there that calls for spraying of the pepper spray or mace, to right away call us or like the fire department to do an emergency flush out.
Letty's children, fortunately, were unaffected by the experience and already excited for their next time at the park.
After we left EPEL, my kids were, regardless of what happened, they're like, so we don't get to play today. And so we went up to Sanahanya.
Stick around for more news here on Primetime.
You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming of KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
leave no room for doubts this Valentine's Day by heading to IT&E. For February only, get your boo the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 for just $59. And for the Apple lovers, get the 10 for just $199 on the 40 gig 4G LTE data plan. Or 2 S8s for just $199 on a share plan. This sweetheart deal is available for a limited time only.
Cars Plus and Mighty has the trucks. And during Ram Truck Month, save up to $97.50 on new Ram trucks. Cars Plus has a great selection of 2018 Ram trucks. Plus, shop our remaining 2017 Ram 1500s. Voted Guam's best truck 2 years in a row. The Ram truck comes with a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. And with 1.99 APR financing for qualified buyers, there's no better time to buy than now. It's Ram Truck Month, and only Cars Plus and Mighty has the trucks. Cars Plus, driven by you.
For 20 years, Matson has been an important part of our everyday lives. Bringing in the cars we drive, the food we eat, and the materials that helped build our homes. From caring for our land through the Adaki Itanu program to generously supporting our local charities, Matson has contributed to the preservation and growth of our island. On behalf of those you've served throughout your 20 years on Guam, Sidus Ma'asi, Matson.
Hi, I'm Carl Lamort, the new face of Heineken Light. It has everything you want from a light beer, and it tastes great. Finally, a light beer that has it all.
It's a little intense.
I've only ever played villains.
Let's try gentler.
I could do gentler. Hi, I'm Carl Lamort, the new face...
The light beer that has it all.
We'll give you a call.
I'll give you a call.
Low calories, low alcohol, and a great taste deserves a spokesperson that has it all.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
Welcome back. He's the man behind the blog. Tim Rohr, self-proclaimed watchdog for Guam's Catholic community, has chronicled the local church controversies on his website, Jungle Watch, since 2013.
Though the site initially started as a means of sharing news stories about the church, it's since attracted a global audience and over 8.2 million views. While he's helped to tell Guam's story, he in no way takes credit for the progress to date. Here's what he had to say to Rotarians Today.
There's a culture of silence here.
Hoping to break the silence is Tim Rohr, the man behind the blog Jungle Watch. The site has attracted a global audience and become a forum for the controversies surrounding the local Catholic Church.
I didn't say anything other than repost the news stories, okay? But what made my role kind of unique was that you can make comments on my blog.
While the site has been a success, so has the work from groups like the Lady Forward Movement and the Concerned Catholics of Guam, who for 54 Sundays protested on the steps of the Hagutnya Cathedral in hopes the Vatican would get their message loud and clear.
The only place in the whole world where the Catholics themselves have said enough is enough is right here in Guam. You saw it happen.
With the protests came the clergy's sexual abuse lawsuits.
I had, so many people come up and tell me what happened to them or how they went to their mother or their grandmother and told them what Father so-and-so had done and got slapped by their mother and grandmother and says, don't talk that way about the priest.
To date, over 160 victims have filed civil suits in the local and federal courts. The majority of the parties have expressed interest in settlement. One victim, Rohr reports, won't.
Walter Denton wants to face down Apron in federal court, and he's not going to quit. If you don't know Walter's story, at 12 years old, he alleged Apron raped him.
Apron, as we've been reporting, underwent a canonical trial in Rome. Still no word on the verdict, but Rohr makes a guess.
We know what it is. It's guilty. If it was innocent, Apron would have run to the microphone, and you would have heard about it already. But it's being hidden.
He also assures his readers he hasn't lost the faith.
I do go to church because of all this, because my faith isn't in an archbishop or a priest. It's in Jesus Christ and his church. So while other people have gotten bitter, I got better, and it's a decision that you make in anything. Bad bishops started with Judas, and Jesus picked him.
Secretary of Defense James Mattis gave reassurances Wednesday that Guam will be protected against missile attacks from North Korea. Mattis was responding to Congresswoman Madam Berdalio during a House hearing on national defense strategy and nuclear posture. He pledged that the military will continue to bolster defense capabilities in the Pacific.
As you know, besides the THAAD system, we also keep the Aegis, the ballistic missile defense U.S. Navy warship in the waters out there, and we can always reinforce that. We also have several of those ships in Japanese waters right now, and they can move back and forth to include coverage of Guam in the mobile way that comes to our Navy. But we are looking at all the systems to include Aegis ashore as we look toward the future protection of our Pacific area.
Guam drew global attention back in August after North Korean leader Kim Jong-un threatened a missile attack that prompted a warning from President Trump of a decisive U.S. response.
It was meant to be a solidarity exchange between Guam and Okinawa ahead of the long-planned marine relocation of Guam. Representatives from local activist groups spent a week on the Japanese island learning about how their Okinawan counterparts have dealt with the U.S. military presence there. Dr. Michael Pavakwa of Independent Guahan says they will report back on their trip at the University of Guam Wednesday night.
What can we learn from the way the community has approached resisting or critiquing these buildups there? What are the strategies that they've used around protesting, consciousness building, solidarity, exchanges, and so on? I think that there's a lot of things that we can learn from the Okinawan example, not just in terms of strategies for directly opposing, but also ways of building community.
Also making the trip were representatives from Putehi Lateksan, Save Ritidian, and the Guahan Coalition for Peace and Justice. Their tour follows a visit last year by representatives of Okinawan environmental activist group, the No Helipad Takai Resident Society.
A new power plant for the island. Village mayors tackling a number of issues today to include a measure that deals with that very topic.
Kiani Mendiola has more.
Checks and balances came into play at today's Mayor's Council meeting. One of the topics discussed, whether the council would support a bill introduced by Senator Tom Atta. Dedido Mayor Melissa Savares.
This is for GPA to build a new power plant in Dedido. This is supposed to generate power for the whole northern and partially the Tumon area as they grow.
To do so, the bill plans to rezone a plot for residential purposes to an M2 industrial zone, but residents were concerned about that.
They were concerned about it being an an M2, which is a heavy industrial area, and they were willing to accept the fact that it would be an M1 where it's light industrial, and according to GPA, they can operate within the light industrial.
The proposed land lies on the borders of Tumuning and Dedido, near the GPA Harmon substation. Public hearings with GPA have been held in both villages. Tumuning Mayor Luis Rivera.
It is needed for our island, and from everything, the presentation that was shown, they were saying please do not look at the existing ones that they have right now at PD. This is nothing like it. This new power plant, this is supposed to be a safer facility.
The zone type would be the only major change mayors would recommend. In an M1 zone, actions like heavy vehicle maintenance or certain welding practices cannot be done, making it easier for the residents and businesses around the area. Overall, the council agreed with the bill, and Chalampago Ordat Mayor Jesse Gogui made a motion.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution that supports the FEC resolutions of Dedido and Tumuning with regard to this project as it pertains to Bill 223-34.
The motion passed unanimously. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Kiani Mendiola.
And a public hearing on the measure will be held Friday at the Guam Congress Building.
Now to this week's Think Green Report.
Think Green, presented by GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Living on a tropical island is paradise, but also, let's face it, hot. Air conditioners are a must on Guam to keep cool. But what's even cooler? Saving energy. We spoke to Elizabeth Pasqua down at Snowflake Guam in Tumuning, a partner of GPA.
We work with GPA to provide energy-efficient residential AC units. We try to provide the highest SEER units.
SEER standing for Seasonal Energy Efficient Ratio, and they've got a bunch of units just like this one.
This is our ArtCo Premier line from LG. Of course, you can see that the energy, the SEER rating is a 25.5 SEER for the 12,000. So you can see it's very high. It's actually rated by Energy Star in 2017, one of the most energy efficient unit available on the market. And of course, it does come with the $350 rebate from GPA. Of course, the higher the SEER, the more energy efficient it is, the more energy savings you'll see in your bill.
And who doesn't love savings? With a unit like this, residents can see up to 60% savings in their power bills. But what's even better is what sets this company apart from others.
We not only do installations, we also provide service if your unit does go down, and we also provide the cleaning. It's all in-house. We have our own technicians.
Energy efficient air conditioners and full in-house service? You just can't go wrong at Snowflake Guam. For this week's Think Green, I'm Kiani Mendiola.
Think Green, presented by GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Sports is coming up next, but first, here's your island weather.
We know how life can be when you're young, wild and free. That's why GTA hooks it up with the best phones at the best prices to keep you living life to the fullest. Get the Motorola Moto G4 for free, and Alcatel A3 XL for only $49, or the Samsung Galaxy A8 for only $99, with a $50 per month unlimited talk and text plan, including 5 gigs of high-speed data. Visit gta.net or a store for details.
I solemnly swear
to love you,
hold you,
and keep you as my little secret.
And hold you.
I think about you all the time.
Hold you.
Because you have that special something.
Rediscover your love for the Big Mac and its special sauce. And for a limited time, try the Mac Jr. and Grand Big Mac.
Reduce your energy costs with GPA's Energy Sense program. Energy Sense provides cash rebates with the purchase of qualified energy-efficient air conditioners, washers, and dryers that help reduce your energy usage. Contact GPA today at 647-5787, 8 or 9 to learn more about Energy Sense and other ways to help reduce your monthly energy usage and save money by using energy more efficiently. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. Energy Sense makes good sense.
I'm Chase Lovich, the new face of Heineken Light. It has everything you'd want from a light beer, and it tastes great. It's the light beer that has it all.
Cut. What's going on with your teeth?
My teeth. What?
Your teeth.
What about them?
Did you whiten your teeth?
No. Yes.
The light beer that has it all.
What if I do this? Hi, I'm Chase Lovich.
Low calories, low alcohol, and a great taste. Deserves a spokesperson that has it all.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We start the show off tonight with boys high school basketball as the Tees and Hyde Titans played host to the Notre Dame Royals. Check it out. IIAAG boys high school basketball from Tees and Hyde. The Titans at home facing the Notre Dame Royals. Both teams entered the game with 1-5 records. Tees spreading the ball around with several players putting their name in the books for buckets. The Royals only suiting up 6 players. My little big homie Victor Jones Jr. scoring the Royals' first basket here. Off the block, Jones hustling his way down court, gets the pass and goes up with a tough shot using the backboard for 2 points. Mark Evangelista hit 3 3-pointers in the first quarter to help extend the Titans' lead to 17-3. Evangelista also attacking the basket for a couple of layups. Nice spin move on the inbound play by Peter Cruz to get position down low. Cruz picks up another Royals score off glass. Franklin Tyron and Vander Valentino working the give and go. Tyron blows by the defender for the easy lay-in. The Titans beat out the Notre Dame Royals 76-54. Mark Evangelista put up 28 points for Teason in the W. The Titans improved to 2-5 on the season. The loss drops the Royals to 1-6. Strong take to the rim by Tino Buickis here. Switching over to some youth golf news, the Guam Junior Golf League 2018 spring session is currently ongoing through May 15th. The league is open to juniors ages 6 to 18. Practice venues include Guam International Country Club, Tumon Driving Range, and Starts Guam Golf Resort. For more information, email guamjuniorsgolf671@gmail.com or call Mel Davis at 482-1611 or Marlon Oberiano at 687-6713. Sean Salas Leponovich received the 2017 FIM Asia Motocross Championship in the MX2 125 to 250cc class at the 2017 FIM Asia General Assembly held in Bangkok, Thailand. This brings Guam Motorcycle and ATV Corporation tally to 4 motocross championships in FIM Asia. Aero Paul and Goko brought home the first championship in the junior class in 2007. Stan Yasuhiro brought home 2 championships in the veteran class in 2012 and then again in 2013. Sean Leponovich brings home the 4th championship. GMAC is a small national motorcycle federation compared to other countries, but brought home a respectable number of championships. Dr. Stan Yasuhiro, president of GMAC, was selected as FIM Asia vice president from 2017 to 2021, voted by 28 countries. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
Say hello to the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Hapaday, this is Jason. He lives on the island of Saipan. Jason wears a lot of hats in his community, and he definitely puts in the work to show for it. Some of Jason's daily roles include being a public safety officer, running NMI Crime Stoppers, training CrossFit, coaching paddling teams, even when it takes him to Guam. Gosh, just look at that view. Wherever he is, Jason can talk and share with his team and his community. Always fast, always clear. When he searches here, it's fast and clear. When he posts here, it's fast and clear. When he's live here, it's fast and clear. Just ask these kids, right guys? Everywhere fast, everywhere clear. With the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Docomo Pacific, better together.
They don't want these coming out. Mexican spices? Nacho cheese sauce?
Critics and fans agree nacho fries are a masterpiece. It'll change the way you look at fries, craves The Hollywood Reporter. Nacho fries, now serving at a Taco Bell near you.
It's Triple J's out with the old and in with the new sales event going on now. Get unbelievable savings on all remaining 2017s, plus many 2018s. Take advantage of our best pricing on all Hondas, Acuras, Fords, Mazdas, Lincolns, Volvos, Kias, and used cars. New cars as low as $137 per paycheck, and used cars as low as $80 per paycheck, plus no payments for 90 days, 0 down and 1.9% financing on approved credit. Visit us online at triplejguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Trade-ins welcome. Some conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J Auto Group. Customers first.
And it's time to get to those Cold Stone Creamery birthday shoutouts. Happy 7th birthday to Kamea Cruz. Happy birthday to our one and only baby girl of mommy and daddy, Devin and Cherish, Brandon, Zachary, Noah, Dylan, Damon, and Drayden. Valerie Sanchez and Gessie, happy birthday to our wife and mom. Thank you for working hard to make our lives amazing. We love you. Love husband and kids. Zay Menabusan, happy 3rd birthday going out to you. We hope you enjoy your special day. Love the family. Also, happy birthday Peter Cruz from Luna, Bing, and Dave. Bernie Fernandez, happy birthday blessings. Love and miss you plenty.
Remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birthday.
And that's going to do it for us here in the news desk. Stay tuned. Extras next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.
Hafide, Guahusi, Nick Delgado. Welcome to KUAM News Extra. Well, we kick things off with Culture Club.
Maxine Bigler is a Chamorro teacher at Jose Rios Middle School, but her efforts to keep our culture alive extend outside of the classroom.
I also am certified Fafanabi under Saina Master of Chamorro Dance, Francisco B. Rabon. He has blessed me and honored me to work with our community, our youth, to promote, perpetuate, and preserve the Chamorro culture through song, dance, and chant. And the community that I work with are mainly from our students of Jose Rios Middle School in the villages of Asin and also Tamuning, Mongmong Tot Tamaiti, and Aganya Heights and Sanahanya.
Her passion to perpetuate the culture began over 2 decades ago.
It all started for me in 1994. I was in Arana High School at the time. I was only a freshman. Every Mes Chamorro month celebration, which is March, we had our own Gupit celebration, and every time Tau Tano, Frank Rabon was a teacher there, every time they performed, I always sat in the audience, and I was always amazed and touched to make me feel like I needed to be a part of that group. And so in second semester, I changed my schedule. I enjoyed the classes, which also gave me that opportunity to join the community group, which held practices Monday through Friday in the evenings for over 20 years.
Growing up, Maxine was exposed to the Chamorro language through her parents, but it wasn't until she began taking Rabon's class in high school that her love for our culture began.
He was teaching us a lot of the history behind Chamorro cultural dance, recreated dance steps that he has researched under our Saina Difuntu Carlos Taitano. So with connecting his teachings to everything that we had to defend as to what it is that we were doing in our standard dance steps, recreated dance steps, I was able to build from there, because it doesn't only go from just dance steps, it also went into music, it also went into the history, and also allowing us to freely express ourselves through our music, through our chants, and being inspired by what our ancestors have left behind for us.
Now a teacher herself, she's passing on what she's learned.
Giving them that opportunity as well to be proud of who they are as, as Chamorros, and go from there, because that's how I started. I found myself through Tau Tano, and now that I see now that I see my students who look up to me, different generations, I see that it's just a domino effect, I guess you could say, and I want to provide for them what my teacher has provided me, and that's that experience in celebrating who they are as a Chamorro people.
We're back after this.
At Coors, cold counts. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold for a cleaner, crisper taste. Because our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Light. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
How does tourism work for Guam? Half a day!
Half a day!
Tourism tax dollars fund improvements around our island. Tourism helps maintain our community centers and public parks. Tourism dollars are invested where it counts, promoting village shops and locally made products. Tourism keeps the spirit of our past alive through restoration of historical sites. Tourism supports environmental efforts that protect our natural resources. Tourism improves our quality of life. It helps make Guam a better place to live, work, and visit. Tourism works for Guam.
Cars Plus and Mighty has the trucks. And during Ram Truck Month, save up to $97.50 on new Ram trucks. Cars Plus has a great selection of 2018 Ram trucks. Plus, shop our remaining 2017 Ram 1500s. Voted Guam's best truck 2 years in a row. The Ram truck comes with a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. And with 1.99 APR financing for qualified buyers, there's no better time to buy than now. It's Ram Truck Month, and only Cars Plus and Mighty has the trucks. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Half a day, welcome back to News Extra. Well, 2018 is Guam's Year of the Reef, and with us to talk a little bit more about this event is Maribel and Val. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So tell us a little bit about what the community can expect and why it's important that we recognize our island's coral reefs.
Sure. So our reefs are so important on so many levels, from economic, cultural, and also just coastal protection. So they protect us and give us a lot of benefits. And so we're celebrating them in 2018, and it's part of the International Year of the Reef. So people around the world, countries around the world are participating in different types of activities. So just this past Friday, the Lieutenant Governor actually declared it Guam Year of the Reef 2018 officially with a proclamation. And so we have all sorts of activities going on all throughout the year where people can learn more about reefs, the threats that are affecting them, and how they can help protect them.
Right. Talk a little bit about those threats just so people are aware of what they should and shouldn't be doing when they're out there.
Sure. So there are a number of things that are affecting our reefs. Some of them include what we call land-based sources of pollution. And so those are things like runoff, construction projects in the water, anything, pesticides, stormwater, because everything's connected. So all the way from the very top of Mount Lam Lam all the way down to the reefs, it's all connected. And what we do on land has an impact on all of the animals and plants in the water. And so people can just be more mindful. The other things that are affecting it include over-harvesting of some very important species that help keep the reef healthy. Right. And so people can make better decisions about what they're harvesting. And the other thing that's really been affecting our reefs over the last few years has been climate change and coral bleaching events. So we had our corals bleached in 2013, 2014, 2016, and most recently 2017, which was the most severe of all of those. And so to help protect our reefs, we really need to be mindful and take care of them and help support them. And we have a lot of programs to be able to help do that, from people planting trees up in the watersheds, through community events, to our program, the Guam Community Coral Reef Monitoring Program. People are actually in the water and helping us monitor those corals and things like sea cucumbers and sea stars to see how they're doing so we can make better choices.
Yeah, and how has the feedback been for you ladies when people hear about these efforts and want to learn more?
Well, people have been really enthusiastic about it. And it's really cool to see some of the same families and some of the kids even growing up coming back and participating in tree plantings or snorkeling tours, and even the community monitoring program. So they're really excited. It's really good that we have this to offer, and that's what people really appreciate. And through that, we've all been able to understand the threats to our reefs, some of which Val mentioned. And then also to see it for themselves, and that motivates more of that, more positive actions and more care for the reefs.
No doubt, an effort that you guys have been working on for years, as well as others across the world. So what can people do then immediately? Just like you said, some of the things they've done is planting, but if you're like the average Joe and you're out there, what can they do just to do their part?
So it's kind of hard to get, sometimes it's a little overwhelming to get started, and that's why we have all these programs. So one of the things they can do is actually, if people aren't sure what they can do, a good way to get started is to come to our event this weekend on the 10th from 1 to 3:30. And we'll have all of our partners there, and we'll be talking about the threats to reefs and the programs and how people can get involved to help protect reefs. So there's a number of things that people can do. Some of them are organized by those agencies and organizations, and so people can check that out Saturday. But then there's a lot of things they can do individually. So things individually are things like reduce, reuse, recycle. You guys hear that message from a lot of different places, but it helps our reefs too, because you know, plastics actually can contain chemicals and also diseases that can affect corals. There was a recent paper that just came out this month actually showing how plastic debris on corals actually can help make them sick and transfer diseases. So, you know, by keeping plastics out of the water, picking up the beaches, and also reducing everything that they use, that helps in a number of ways. Also just watching where they step. So rather than stepping on a coral, which is a live animal and is super impacted right now by all these different threats, you know, choose to stand on sand or wear a life jacket so you don't have to stand, and just stay off of those living resources that are really in trouble right now. The other thing that's kind of an emerging issue that people are finding out about is sunscreen can actually have a really bad impact on corals, and even just a little drop in an entire pool can actually have impacts to living corals. And so choosing sunblocks and sunscreens that use zinc and titanium oxide instead of the chemical sunscreens are a little better, some of the other chemicals. The one they really want to watch out for is oxybenzone. And that's been one that's been proven to have very serious effects on corals. And some islands are even moving to ban those sunscreens completely.
Very important information for a lot of people out there, especially the parents who, you know, always want to protect their children when they're out in the waters. And so what is the feeling that either of you get whenever you actually witness or hear about those negative impacts on our reefs as a result?
I think as I started working with more community programs that focus on offering opportunities for us to all learn together and to talk about these threats and do something about it. It just, every time I see it, I know that it can be avoided. And so with that, I always share that with my family, with my friends, about these are just really simple ways that we can help.
Okay. And for you?
Oh, it's hard for me. I've watched corals actually die from people standing on them and touching them over time, and so I get very frustrated sometimes, and but it just really makes me redouble my efforts to try to do all this outreach and community engagement so we can help people minimize those impacts.
Okay, thank you so much, Maribel and Val. Final message out to the community so they know about the event coming up this weekend.
Yeah, they should join us on Saturday at the Hall of Governors, so next to the Lattie of Freedom from 1 to 3:30. And it's part of our Guam Year of the Reef kickoff, and it's also celebrating the Guam Community Coral Reef Monitoring Program.